With the new GTA Online Los Santos Drug Wars updates releasing on December 13th, which is very close now, there's definitely a few things that I think you should bear in mind before this update does release. And we'll get into all of that in this video, but just before that, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content just like this. Are you interested in starting your own gaming channel on YouTube, but simply don't know where to start? Well, I've got just the thing for you. By using the link in the description and the pinned comment, you can get access to a 50-minute free training session with a YouTube expert. And believe it or not, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about someone who has monetized many YouTube channels, one of them even being this channel right here, which I then took over. Some of the other channels he's monetized includes Joas97, Foot Fanatic, and OpenVision. And of course, he's helped other gamers monetize their own YouTube channels. He's even been helping me monetize my very own YouTube channel from scratch, and the first video I uploaded got over 30,000 views in about a month, which is insane. So the man behind all this is Jamie. Jamie is an expert when it comes to helping YouTube channels grow and improving your skills as a content creator. So I really can comfortably say that if you work with Jamie, the quality of your videos will improve drastically, and that really just is the case. So if you are interested in starting your own gaming YouTube channel, or even if you're not, then you might as well go to the link in the description. It really is just a gift. You get 50 minutes with a YouTube expert for completely free. So go down into the description or the pinned comment and check it out. So something that, in my opinion anyway, is a little bit odd from Rockstar Games is that we haven't really had much info about this GTA Online update, and it literally releases in, well, when this video goes out, it will literally be releasing in about a day. And at the time of making this video, we haven't really had much information. We've not even had a trailer, which we usually get before each update does arrive. Now, I do expect that a trailer might arrive on launch day, and if we don't, then I'm going to be really surprised. Now, a reason for this could be that they are sort of tuning down their support for GTA Online as they prepare for GTA 6, and obviously they're going to be shifting most of their development resources over to GTA 6 to speed up development and help it become a great game. And obviously that's going to sacrifice some of the developers from GTA Online, although it seems to have affected Red Dead Online a bit more than it has GTA Online. But yeah, it's still going to affect GTA Online a bit, and it does mean that the GTA Online updates could be slowly getting smaller and smaller, which a lot of players wouldn't really be surprised about. And if it meant that GTA 6 got here quicker, I think a lot of people would be okay with that. But yeah, I do find it odd that Rockstar haven't really given much information, and there is a reason that I think this is the case. So let's actually take a quick look about what Rockstar Games have said about this Drug Wars update. Starting December 13th, Los Santos Drug Wars injects a new psychoactive strain of chaos into Grand Theft Auto Online on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and of course PC. Head straight to Blaine County and join up with Old Pal Nervous Run and a new band of out-of-state misfits on a mission to put their stamp on the Los Santos psychedelics trade, fight off an unlikely coalition of wealthy hippies, and trigger happy bikers while cooking up potent hallucinogenic in elaborate labs or out of your own massive rolling chemistry set in the opening chapter of an expansive new 2-part story update for GTA Online. Los Santos Drug Wars contains a range of wild side effects, including a new business enterprise to operate, new vehicles and missions, and experiential upgrades. And this is just the first dose. Be prepared for lots more exciting events, including some jolly holiday hijinks, significant story and gameplay updates, and much more to come. So as you can see, that's all we really got for the official Rockstar newswire that's dedicated for this update. They've said some other stuff in some other newswires, but this is the main newswire for this update, and yeah, that was it. It was really short, to be honest, especially compared to previous updates. Something I do want to bring across is that I'm not trying to say this update is bad. I think this stuff looks great. I don't think that any of this is bad, but it's just interesting they didn't tease as much with this update. And yeah, there's one reason I think this is, and I think that on December 13th we're not really going to get that much content. So to start my explanation for this, I'm going to go back to the Criminal Enterprises update. The Criminal Enterprises update released in the summer of 2022, and this update was pretty good. It brought a lot of improvements. In terms of content, there wasn't loads, and one of the things that seemed really cool, there was a car dealership arriving, and there was actually loads of other missions arriving, some small missions here and there. But something interesting was a lot of it didn't arrive on day one, especially with vehicles. We got about 3 vehicles on day one, and everything else was drip-fed content. It took until about the end of November for all of the drip-fed content to finally release for the Criminal Enterprises update. And if you don't know what drip-fed content is, it's basically content that's already added to the game, but it's not set public to players, and later on they set it public to players just as a weekly update, and there'll be no downloadable update required for that. But with the Criminal Enterprises update, there was so much drip-fed content. It felt like on day one there was literally nothing to play. There was some contact missions, but other than that there wasn't much to it. Instead, we had to wait for all of the new contact missions missions and the car dealership to arrive at a later date, along with the majority of the vehicles. Majority of the vehicles didn't even release on day one, which that is sort of expected, and that's fair enough. Having a new vehicle releasing every week is pretty cool, but everything else is nice to have on day one. It just makes the updates feel a lot better when they do release. Instead, it's just not as interesting when there's not much to play on day one. And to be honest, I think it's going to be the exact same case here with this Drug Wars update. We can really see this with the way that Rockstar worded this as a two-part story mission update. It looks like on December 13th we're going to be getting the first half of the update, and then at a later date we'll get the second half. Now, when the second half could release, I have no idea. To be able to know that is sort of good, to be able to see what does release on day one, so then you can see, is it really little to the point where we might get it in just a couple of weeks, or is there quite a bit on day one to the point where it could actually be a couple of months before we see the second part of the story release. Right at the end of this newswire, they also mentioned there is a lot more to come, and that this is only the first dose, and I assume that, a lot of this is going to be drip-fed content, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think it is a bad thing when there's just too much drip-fed content to the point where, on day one, there's nothing to play. As of right now, on the day the update actually releases on December 13th, it looks like we're going to be getting the first half of the story missions. We're going to be getting the Acid Land, which I assume links with the story missions, and the new business that's arriving, which once again we don't really have much information on. And then there will be 1 or 2 vehicles releasing on day one as well. But other than that, I think a lot of it we'll just have to wait for, and it will just release down the line. I do think that it will be past this downloadable update, as in, the files that you're downloading with this update, they will be included, the other content will be included, but it just won't be set public to players. Now, I said before that we will be getting the business on day one, but to be honest, that might not even be the case. That could also arrive later. However, I think that would be really, really pushing it from Rockstar. And the reason they do all this is that it keeps players coming back to the game each week. It makes the weekly updates much more exciting than just the standard bonuses and discounts, the new vehicle at the casino. There'll be a lot more to actually come online for. A lot of players with an update, if they're all released on day one, then people would just play it for a couple of days, grind the hell out of it, and then never play the game again until the next update about 5-6 months later. So obviously I can completely understand why Rockstar have done this, and it makes sense, and it's a smart business idea. However, I just think that maybe they go a bit overboard with it sometimes, and I remember people in the community being disappointed with the Criminal Enterprises update because of so much of the content being drip fed. Even the car dealership, I think that was the big thing there, that the whole building wasn't available on release day. Now that might not be the case with this update, and I think a lot of the main businesses and the vehicles needed to start businesses will all be available on day one, but there's going to be a lot of smaller bits of content, such as they've said more exciting events and sort of gameplay updates and story updates, which will release later down the line, and that everything mentioned before was just the first dose. So it'll be interesting to see what does release later, and if it means that we'll be getting more smaller updates throughout the year, that may even be better than just 2 big updates. But that's basically what I had to say in this video, just that on December 13th, maybe don't have your expectations too high, because there's not going to necessarily be a lot of content releasing on that day. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts on this down in the comments below, and if you are actually looking forward to this update. Personally, I do think this update looks really good. I might have been a bit harsh on it, but to be honest, I think this update looks great, and all the content might not be releasing on day one, but that doesn't mean that the content's bad. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this down in the comments below though. So if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content just like this. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.